Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. We are here to get into the player ratings for yesterday's FA Cup fixture versus Newcastle. Now, God, we made that hard work for ourselves. But before we get into the match reaction and the player ratings, I just want to wish Gabriel Martinelli a speedy recovery. He got injured in the warm-up yesterday. It looks like a pretty bad injury. Mikel Arteta said in his press conference that it does not look good. Anybody who has not seen the video of that yet, here's a couple of images for you. Look at the state of that. Yeah, it looks as though he got his studs caught in to the turf, and when he tried to turn, he twisted his knee and his ankle. And let's just hope that he's not out for a very long time, because this guy is arguably one of our best players, no question about it. And since he's been back in the side, we've looked like a different proposition. And hopefully he's not going to be out for too long. So yeah, Gabriel Martinelli, wish you well, my man. So yesterday, here we go. Let's start first half. First half, we came out, we looked pretty good. Newcastle sat deep like we expected, and basically said, come and break us down. And in that first half, we had a few opportunities that we should have buried. If we're being real, we should have buried them. Nicola Pepe had an opportunity. Reiss Nelson as well. Kieran Tierney put an absolute brilliant cross on a plate for him, and the geezer took too many touches. If that was me, hit it first time. It just goes to show as well that Reiss Nelson hasn't played for a long time, and he's probably not good enough for the football club. Nicola Pepe, like I say, his final pass, his decision making in the final third, not good enough. Willian had a great opportunity. Aubameyang shot, saved by Dubravka, falls to Willian. You got to hit that first time, and instead he decides to take his time with it. Decides to take it on his left, and I don't know where that ball went. It's probably the other side of North London. But there you go. Second half, we came out and we looked a little bit slow, which is strange for Arsenal, really, because this season we've always started the first half very slow, and then in the second half, when they've had a bollocking from the manager, they've picked it up. But this time round, it's like it was the other way round. We came out, it was very slow. Again, Newcastle, they came out looking like a different side altogether. It looked like Steve Bruce had a word with them, told them that it's all good sitting in, but we need to try and hit these on the counter. We need to get man forward. And if we're being real, Newcastle were the better side in that second 45 minutes, and they deserved to go on and win it, and they nearly did. If it wasn't for Bernd Leno, then we'd probably be out of the FA Cup. Which is a bit of an embarrassment, really, because we should be going and slapping Newcastle, especially with the squad that we had out on the pitch. On paper, if you look at the players that we had in the squad, Willian, Pepe, Aubameyang, who else was in there? Just that front three alone. You think about how much money that front three cost. Jesus Christ. But yeah, very, very poor again. And like I say, very lucky to go on to the next round. Needed extra time. Again, in extra time, it looked like we took over a little bit. The tiredness got to Newcastle's players. They've obviously got a big game on Tuesday against Sheffield United. Bit of a 6-pointer, that one, because I think both of them are going to be in and around the relegation zone. I know for definite that Sheffield United are, because they have had a horrific season this season. So they'll be glad to see that Newcastle went 120 minutes anyway. But at the same time, like I said, you know, it looked like Newcastle are tired, so we sort of took over a little bit. Mikel Arteta made the correct substitutions for once in his life, and yeah, went on to win it 2-0. Emil Smith-Rowe comes on, nearly gets sent off. In fact, if it wasn't for VAR, then he would have been sent off. And when the replays were being shown, that was never a sending off. Like, I don't know what the referee seen there. I don't know whether it was because the Newcastle player made a bit of a meal out of it. The screams and that, you know, probably made it seem like it was worse than what it was. But that was never a sending off. So I suppose we as Arsenal fans like to complain about VAR and how it tends to go against us most of the time. But this time round, it certainly did go for us. And Emil Smith-Rowe was one of the goal scorers. He started it off. Nice layoff by Lacazette, straight into his path. And from a tight angle, Emil Smith-Rowe with a good finish there. And then the second goal, of course, he had to get on the score sheet today. There was no question about it. We need to get this guy's confidence back up. And hopefully that goal will give him a bit more confidence. So Aubameyang with a tap-in. It was a tap-in as well, you know. Great cross by Kieran Tierney. Again, had another very good game. And we'll get into that in the player ratings. But yeah, there we go. On to the next round. Let's hope that we can continue this form. That's 4 wins in a row now in all competitions. We got Crystal Palace on Thursday. I will be doing a preview for that, of course. So come and tune into that. And yeah, let's hope we can continue this winning run. I've got a couple of comments to get into. Stephen here says, "Hey mate, hope you're well. Do you need me to come on?" I will arrange a stream eventually, mate, where I can get you to come on. No problem about that. Devin says, "So upsetting. Martinelli keeps getting injured." Yes, I know. Let's just hope it's not a bad one. I think a couple of people were saying that, you know, it's his work rate that gets him injured, because when you put yourself about like he does, you're more prone to getting injuries. And yeah, while I understand that, but at the same time, you want to see that sort of work rate from each and every single individual in your team. And he's about the only one who brings that work rate to Arsenal. I mean, Kieran Tierney's probably another one. Bukayo Saka, yeah. But apart from that, the rest of them are very fucking lazy, if we're being honest. And yeah, he's been very unlucky with injuries. We just got to hope that he's not out for too long. Stephen here says, "Fuck no, get well soon, Martinelli." Yep, 100%. Get well soon, Martinelli. We need you back. Because I'm just wondering now, who is going to play ahead of Martinelli? Because Pepe was dog shit yesterday. You know, who's going to take Martinelli's place now that he is out injured? Pepe was dog shit. Willian was dog shit. Who else is there? I mean, I know you got Saka that can play on the left, but then you got to find someone to play on the right. And, you know, I don't want either of them to anywhere near this squad. But we'll get into that. So, of course, player ratings. We'll start with the goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. Didn't really have too much to do, to be fair, especially in that first half. The second half, he was a little bit more busier, but there wasn't really any clear-cut major chances that should have been put away by Newcastle, apart from the one at the end, and maybe the sitter that Carroll missed as well. So yeah, Bernd Leno, for me, he gets a 7. I don't think you can give him any higher than that, but I don't think you can go any lower. Like I said, that final save in the last couple of minutes of the game kept us in the tie. So you've got to give him credit for that. No question about it. Moving on to right back, Cedric. Now, I've been calling for this guy to start in the team ahead of Hector Bellerin for a long time. And yesterday's performance shows me exactly why he's not ahead of Hector Bellerin in the pecking order. Very, very poor yesterday. Caught out of position quite on a regular. He's always been renowned for his good crossing ability as well. But yesterday, my word, all his crosses were going over to the far fucking throwing line. And, you know, it wasn't good enough from him. It really wasn't. He got a silly booking in the first, 25 minutes of the game. And, yeah, from then on, he had to be very, very careful. And, you know, he wasn't great. He was not great. 4. In fact, maybe 4 is being a bit generous. 3 or 4, one or the other. You know how I'm quite harsh with my player ratings. Moving on to the centre-back pairing. David Luiz. I thought he played okay. He wasn't spectacular, but he wasn't like magnificent either. He did a decent job against Andy Carroll. I say a decent job, but then I suppose Andy Carroll did win quite a lot in the air. But then you sort of expect that from a player of Andy Carroll's size, and that is where his strengths are. But he didn't do too bad against Carroll. He wasn't too bad. He played quite a few decent balls over the top. One notably for Aubameyang, where really and truly Aubameyang's level and the quality that Aubameyang possesses, he should be putting that away. You know, he hit that straight at the goalkeeper, and yeah, very unlucky. But yeah, David Luiz played some nice balls over the top. He was always constantly looking for runners. I see a couple of times during the game where he was basically having a go at Nicola Pepe, because Pepe was coming for the ball short all the time. He's looking for the ball at feet. And Luiz was like, no, mate, get on your fucking bike. I'll play the ball over the top to you. You know? So, yeah, he made a few decent balls. But again, like I say, it wasn't poor, but he wasn't spectacular either. And I do actually think that the player who played next to him had a better game. So I'm going to give David Luiz a 6, just above average for me. His centre-back partner, Pablo Amari, he's looked very good since he's come into the Arsenal side. It's a wonder, isn't it? You know, again, another player who I've been calling for a little while now, ever since he come back from injury, really. I think he's probably arguably the second best centre-back in our club, alongside Gabriel. And yeah, play him, you know. We're seeing what he can do now. We haven't lost a game since he's been a centre-back in our starting 11. And yeah, he looked pretty decent again yesterday. Very calm, collected on the ball. There was a couple of times where he took a few risks, could have probably lost possession, but he managed to keep hold of it. But yeah, he was probably the better of the centre-backs. And I'll give him a 7. And hopefully we can see him starting alongside Gabriel. I know Mikel Arteta doesn't like to do that sort of thing because they are both left-footed. But at the end of the day, if they're both our best centre-backs, play them. Play them, seriously. 7 for Pablo Mari. Left-back, Kieran Tierney. This guy is absolute quality. Yeah, absolute quality. I'm hearing a few people throw the word world class around. I don't think he's there yet. Don't put that sort of pressure on him, please, because, yeah, he's not there yet. But he is arguably the second best left back in the league behind Robertson. Maybe you could put Chilwell in there, but I do think Tierney is levels above Chilwell personally. Great game again yesterday. And this guy, from minute one, he's on it. Minute one, put some great balls into the box again yesterday. What made me laugh a little bit was DeAndre Yedlin came on for Newcastle. Anybody who knows who DeAndre Yedlin is, he's not a very slow player. Let's put it that way. He is a very quick fullback. And Tierney just breezed past him like he was nothing. So it just goes to show that Tierney has a little bit of pace as well. And yeah, like I say, if you want somebody who's going to fight for the badge, who's going to fight for the football club, he's your man. And in my opinion, and I've been saying it for a long time as well, captain. He has to be captain. He is the only person in that Arsenal squad that has leadership qualities, shows heart, shows fight. I know why Aubameyang was given the captaincy, because he was leading by example last season, and that's fair enough. But his leadership qualities, he's not the type of person who's going to grab somebody by the scruff of the neck and say, fucking get on it. Kieran Tierney is, and he needs to be Arsenal captain. But once again, how long is it going to take this manager to realise that? If we can all see it, why don't he just do it? Yeah? Make him captain. Do it right now. Great performance yesterday. You got to give him an 8. I think he was probably man of the match, to be fair. So yeah, moving on to the midfield. Mohamed El Neni, absolutely dross. Really was not that great at all yesterday. And funnily enough, when he first come back to Arsenal and we played against Liverpool in the Community Shield, there was another game as well. I can't remember who it was against. Was it against Liverpool in the league? Oh, I can't remember now. But he looked very good, He looked like a completely different player. He looked like somebody who had just come back from a loan spell and, realised, I'm playing for Arsenal Football Club. I need to up my level. And then since then, he's just gone back to Mohamed El Neni, the £5 million player that we brought from Basel. Not good enough. Not of the level. Poor playing again. There was a couple of times where he could have threaded the ball through. Aubameyang made a few decent runs and he just sort of went sideways or backwards, the typical Mohamed El Neni thing to do. Very, very poor. There was even a time where Granit Xhaka came on and he even said to El Neni, give me the ball. And he went fucking backwards. I can't believe it, Granit Xhaka asking for somebody to play the ball forwards. It's a madness. It just shows our lack of options in the midfield. It shows how poor we are. And we need to get that sorted in this January transfer window. It's all right getting rid of all these players that are, not wanted. But you've got to bring players in. And we can see that now, Next to, or should I say, just in front of Mohamed El Neni, Joe Willock. Another player, looked very good in Europa League. Scored a few goals in the Europa League. And created a few assists as well. But he has not done it in the Premier League, or he didn't do it yesterday either. Very poor. He makes good runs. That's the thing about Willock. He tries to run beyond the strikers. He sort of reminds me with some of his runs of an Aaron Ramsey type player, tries to get beyond people. But his decision making is shocking, A couple of times there where he could have squared the ball and we could have had a tap in, or he could have took on a shot himself, and he just makes the wrong decision every single time. But he was very, very average yesterday, and 100% he deserves to, be sent out on loan. I think he needs a loan, or maybe even sell him, to be fair, because I don't think he is good enough for Arsenal. It's a shame, really. It is a shame because he did show a lot of potential, but nah, not for me. He gets a 3 for yesterday's performance. I don't think I rated El Neni, so I'm going to give him a 3 as well. I don't think he was very, very good either. And then moving on to, where are we? Come on, where are you? Trying to find a clown out of all these players. Oh, here he is. Here he is. The Chelsea agent. And he is a fucking Chelsea agent. You can tell. Yeah? You can tell. This guy is dog shit. He is dog shit. And do you know what, right? Chelsea fans told us before we signed Willian. Willian's not that great. He'll have 1 good game and then he'll have 10 bad games. Now, I don't remember him being this bad for Chelsea. I really don't. I mean, he was bad, but he was never this fucking bad. And he's been horrendous ever since he signed for Arsenal. He had 1 good game against Fulham, where he created a couple of assists, first game of the season. And we sort of thought, okay, we've got a player here. And now it looks like a complete and utter embarrassment. How are we offering this guy 3 years? 3 years, 3 years we got to put up with this guy because we paid him so much in wages that no cunt's going to want to take him. No way. So for me, tear his contract up again last night. Absolute dross. What can I say? He's supposed to be playing in the number 10 role. Yeah, you're supposed to be the guy feeding Aubameyang, Pepe. These guys. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And it looks to me like he's come to Arsenal for a final payday. He knows that in 3 years' time, when his contract's up, he's going to be retiring. So he's just gone, do you know what? I'm going to get as much money as I can, wherever I can. And yeah, I'm just going to chill for 3 years. It certainly looks that way. You can tell this guy has no care for the club. And I fucking get sick of Arsenal keep doing this every single time. Why do we go to clubs like Chelsea and go, we'll take him. He was a good player back in the day. And then we fuck ourselves over because we've given somebody a contract who doesn't give a shit about the football club, yeah? Who comes here just for a payday, tear his contract up and fuck him off right now. Don't do it in the summer, do it right now because this guy is not fucking good enough. Simple as. We're going to move on to the striker, Aubameyang. This guy, what can I say? Yes, he scored yesterday. But apart from that, what did he do? What did he do? He had a good couple of opportunities. The most notable one being when David Luiz played the ball over to the top. And, straight at Dubravka. Straight at him. A man of Aubameyang's quality should be putting that away. There's no question about it. Hopefully, that goal that he scored yesterday will give him a bit more confidence because I think he's a player lacking confidence. You can see that he's lacking confidence. He's not been scoring goals this season. He's going through a bit of a drought, which he's never really done in his career. And hopefully that will give him the confidence to push on a little bit because I just don't understand how a guy can go from scoring 20 plus goals per season ever since he signed for this football club to now being a shadow of himself. He really is a shadow of the player that he was. It doesn't look comfortable. And I've been saying it for a long time to people. People were telling us when we wasn't scoring goals, play Aubameyang through the middle. Play him through the middle, we'll score more goals. No. Since he's been at Arsenal, he has predominantly played from the left-hand side, and that is where he scored most of his goals. We can see it now, yeah? Unless he has got a proper creative midfielder behind him, and unless he's got somebody who is on the same wavelength as him, knows how he plays, which is over the top. Yeah, you can't play this. You can't lump balls up to this guy because he can't hold the ball up, right? If you play him over the top, his pace will get you in and behind, and he will score goals. But we don't play like that, right? So he is wasted in that number 9 role. He's wasted there. Play him on the left, yeah, and then play Lacazette up front. Or go and buy a striker who can hold the ball up, because Aubameyang is not the man. And I honestly think that the way we play is what is affecting him. Yeah. Last season, everything went through Aubameyang, and that was mainly because everything goes down the left-hand side, and it still does now. Yeah. Every single attack is down the left-hand side. We hardly ever attack from the right. And funnily enough, Aubameyang was playing on the left-hand side, so he was seeing a lot more of the ball. When you play in the middle, it's easier for 2 defenders to mark you. When you're playing out on the left, it's not that easy, and he can cut in on his right and whip balls into the top corner. And that's what he was doing last season. So I do not understand this whole agenda against Aubameyang playing on the left and sticking him in the number 9 role. No, put him back out on the left. He was doing bits there last season. Let him find his confidence again there. Yeah? Because he looks more natural playing in that position than what he does playing down the middle for Arsenal. I'm not saying he's a player who cannot play down the middle, but he looks more natural out on the left. No question about it. And like I said, apart from that, he didn't do much yesterday. He did score, so you'd have to give him a 6. But, you know, very, very average again yesterday. And let's just hope that this guy can find some form soon, because he's the only guy in this squad that can consistently score goals. I know Lacazette has been scoring goals, but he's not going to get you 20 plus a season. He hasn't done since he's signed for Arsenal. So we need goals, and we need Aubameyang to be scoring. There's no question about that. Moving on to the right-hand side, where is this absolute fraud? Where is he? Here he is. Nicola Pepe. A lot of Arsenal fans are still twerking for him, and I don't get why. I don't get why. I've said for a long time, I do not rate this guy. Yeah, I don't rate what he's about. He hasn't shown me anything to say, yeah, he's a proper player. Yes, he's scored a few goals. Yes, he's scored a few worldies. Yeah, like, for example, in the Europa League, when he came on as a substitute and banged 2 free kicks. Yeah, he has that in his locker. Yeah, there's no question about it. He has the quality to be a top player. But we do not see that from this guy. Every single time he wants the ball to feet, every single time he cuts in on his left. You never see him run beyond a fullback and whip across him with his right. Yeah, he always wants it on his left. Always. And when he gets 2 of them double up on him, he struggles. He really does struggle. He didn't play too badly yesterday, to be fair, but his decision making, again, shocking. There was a few times where he could have and should have probably scored. Yeah, terrible. And this guy is really pissing me off. And the reason why he's pissing me off is because you can see he's got quality, but he just doesn't show it. He doesn't show it at all. And it's pissing me off even more that you've got two young men in Martinelli and Bukayo Saka, and they are just young men. You know, they're kids. And they're playing miles better than this guy. And we paid £72 million for him. Yes, it is not his fault that we paid £72 million for him. But we paid that sort of money because we expect a lot better from him. If two kids are keeping you out of the side, you should be fucking embarrassed, my man. But not one of these players who played yesterday, who hasn't been starting in the starting 11 for the Premier League games, showed anything as to why they should be starting against Crystal Palace on Thursday. And that is a big problem. You know, when you're playing for Arsenal Football Club, you should be looking to, you know, try and get yourself into the starting 11. But this guy, I don't know what to make of him. I really don't. I mean, personally, he's had time to settle into the league. Yes, he's not had a real run of games, but he hasn't deserved to have a run of games. In the games that he's played, what has he actually shown where you can say, yeah, okay, this guy deserves a run. This guy deserves to be starting ahead of Saka, ahead of Martinelli. You know? Nothing. He's not showed anything. So for me, sell him in the summer. Yes, you'll make a loss on him, but sell him. Seriously. Pepe yesterday, I'll give him a 4. So yeah, there's the starting 11. We'll go to the substitutions as well, which will be, where are you? Come on. Of course, the main man, Emile Smith-Rowe, came on. Nearly got sent off. What a horrendous decision that was by the referee. Thank God for VAR. Because that was never a sending off. I think the referee panicked when he heard the Newcastle player screaming like he'd been shot. And yeah, lucky, very lucky that VAR was in there, because otherwise we'd have been down to 10 men and we probably would have lost that game if we're being real. But when he came on, you see the difference. Yeah, the guy tries to go forward every single time. He quickens up the play as well. Plays little 1-2s. Yeah, none of this slow, lethargic bullshit that we see week in, week out. He tries to play 1-2s. He tries to get people in behind. And it's been very, very good since he's joined, since he's come into the starting lineup for Arsenal. And again, very good yesterday. I'm going to give him a 7, purely and simply because I think, for me, Kieran Tierney was man of the match, and I can't give him an 8 and give Emile Smith-Rowe an 8 as well, because I think Tierney was better. The other substitute that came on, where are you? Alexander Lacazette came on again, did very well, held up the ball well, and played a nice pass into Emile Smith-Rowe for his goal. He looks like a player who's high on confidence, and to be honest with you, I'd keep playing him up front while he's confident. Keep playing him, and hopefully he can help drag us out of this mess as well. Very good when he came on. Give him a 7. And then the other player, you're going to be very surprised by this. Where is he? I can't find him. There he is. Granit Xhaka. Now, everybody knows I do not rate this guy. I want him gone. Yeah. The guy has been a liability since he's been at Arsenal. But yesterday, he played pretty well. Yeah. When he came on, you see the difference. And that, for me, is embarrassing, because this guy is not good enough. He is not of Arsenal quality. And when you bring in Granit Xhaka on, and all of a sudden the midfield looks better, you know you've got problems. Yeah, because Granit Xhaka came on yesterday and he made it look so much better in midfield. He played some nice passes. He also looked to try and go forward as well, which is mad because this guy normally goes backwards, sideways. We looked more solid in the midfield when he came on. There's no question about that. He played a couple of nice through balls. The one where Aubameyang's goal, the through ball to Tierney for that one, for Tierney's cross to Aubameyang, excellent. And it's just a shame we don't see more of that from him. We know for a fact that this guy will have one good game and 10 bad games, and that's the biggest issue with this squad of players. There's no question about it. So that is the player ratings. I'm going to rate the manager as well. The manager, you can't say that he didn't get it right yesterday, because he did. I, for one, was a little bit disappointed to see Willian playing, but then I sort of think about it. Who else have we got? You know, you want to rest a few players, you got to play these players that are not playing, and hope that you can get performance out of them. The only one criticism, well, I've got two criticisms of Mikel Arteta. Number one, why did Willian stay on the pitch for so long? Again, you know, you see the difference when he was brought off. You know, he was absolute dog shit, and he should have come off a lot sooner. But we won the game, so I cannot complain too much. I just wish he had made the substitution with Willian a little bit quicker. But apart from that, his substitutions were absolutely spot on. You got to give him credit for that. The players that he brought on won us the game, basically. The only other criticism that I have of Mikel Arteta, and I don't know whether this is so much a criticism of him, but more of Arsenal Football Club. Where was this guy, Balogun, yesterday? Now, Arteta doesn't help himself because he sits there in press conferences and tells everybody that he wants this guy to stay. He wants him to sign a new contract. Well, the guy is not going to sign a new contract if you do not give him opportunities. Yeah? Once again. Eddie Nketiah was ahead of Balogun. I'm not saying that Balogun has to start. Yeah? I'm just saying, put the guy on the bench. Give him an opportunity to come on and change the game, you know? But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Possibly, it's looking like he's going to be leaving, right? It's looking like he's not going to be an Arsenal player come the end of the window, possibly, or in the summer. And I don't blame him, because he's not getting the opportunities. And good luck to the guy if he does leave. And I'll be disappointed, because I do think he is a player that's got some quality there that we could probably rely upon. I mean, you look at what the kids are doing at the moment. Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli. They're our three best players. So it's all right saying, oh, we'll keep these players like Willian and the experienced guys in the side. But you got to give this guy an opportunity. I mean, what more can he do? 2 Europa League games. He scored 2 goals and created an assist. What more do you want from the guy? You know? I get that you want him to sign a new contract, but you got to give him opportunities. And if you don't give him opportunities, you know, but I blame the football club in the first place, because we should never, ever be letting players get to the last 6 months of their contract. Pardon me. I don't care if it's a first team player or if it's a youth player. Nobody at this football club should be getting to the last 6 months of their contract. Imagine if Balogun for example, had a 3-year contract, imagine how much we'd be able to command for him. But he's got 6 months. We can't command fuck all for him. He might go on a free. Yeah? Eddie Nketiah hasn't been fucking great for Arsenal at all. You know? Eddie Nketiah has got a long contract. And we can easily command 15 million for him because of his age and his experience playing in the Premier League. Balogun's a better player. We could command loads more, but instead we let all our assets run their contract down and then wonder why we're fucking losing money as a football club. It's a joke. Yeah? These two fucking idiots come out and claim that, oh, we're running Arsenal like a business. It's a very well-run business. How is it a well-run business when you let your assets run their contracts down? When you're losing money hand over fist because you can't do your fucking jobs properly. Or you don't employ people who do the correct job at this football club. It's mad. It really is. Anyway, I'm not going to complain too much. I'm going to get into a few of your comments. So we're going to go with Nitish. David Luiz, man of the match for me. He kept Carroll quiet all the time. When he wasn't near Carroll, that is when we looked like conceding goals. That's a fair comment, mate. That is a fair comment. I think this is the first time that I've seen you in the chat, to be fair. So thank you for tuning in. Yeah, no, that's a fair comment. I suppose, you know, if Luiz hadn't have kept Carroll quiet, then maybe we would have gone on to lose that game. So yeah, no, fair comment. He also says Pablo Mari better than Luiz. I think so. I think that Pablo Mari did a few things a little bit better than Luiz. Although I think there was, do you know what? I think they was on par with each other, to be fair. Like I say, Luiz kept Carroll quiet and played a nice couple of balls over the top to Aubameyang that he should have done better with. And yeah. So yeah, no, I kind of agree with you there, Nitish. Spot on, mate. Spot on. And like I said, thank you for tuning in, mate. Afdaling is here. Of course he is here. He's always here. Yo, how are you doing? Big up to you, Afdaling. Big up to you for tuning in, my man. Thank you very much. He also says Tierney should be captain. Drop that useless, overrated striker. Cool. Overrated. Cool. Yeah, Tierney should be captain all day long. And if Aubameyang does not pick up form, then yes, I agree with you. He has to be dropped. But let's see what he can do now. Hopefully that'll give him a bit more confidence. At the end of the day, we wasn't all complaining when he was scoring 20 plus goals every single season. We was praising the guy. So you know, you got to give him, cut him a little bit of slack, a little bit. At the end of the day, your role as a striker is to score goals, and that's what he does. So, you know, or what he normally does. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Afdaling again says Mohamed El sideways needs to go. I'm sorry, but he offers nothing. Look what Xhaka did when he came on, levels. You rate Xhaka, don't you? I don't, you know. I don't rate either of these players. Mohamed El sideways. Yes, you're right, he has to go. But Granit Xhaka has to go as well. Not good enough. Neither of them are Arsenal level, you know. You look at the players that we've had in that midfield over the years. Patrick Vieira, Gilberto Silva, you know. Even Edu is probably better than some of the players that we got there. Fabregas. You could even argue that Mikel Arteta was a better player than some of these players. Santi Cazorla, you know. There's so many players that are better than what these guys are. They need to go. There's no problem about that. Nitish says, what is this obsession with giving Tierney the armband? The guy is playing well. How does it matter if he's captain now or not? Also, Abba was vocal yesterday. He could be heard on the mic. Okay, fair enough. I respect your opinion, no question about it. I just feel like, for me, Tierney is the only one who really shows proper leadership qualities. He's Scottish, he won't take no shit. He's the kind of guy who will grab hold of players and say, look, get in your fucking position. He's very vocal. Aubameyang is vocal, but he's not the kind of guy who's going to grab somebody by the scruff of their neck and tell them to fucking, get on it if they're playing badly. He will just sort of stroll about a little bit. So that's why, for me, I think Tierney needs to have the armband. But at the same time, like I said earlier, I can see why Aubameyang did get the armband, because he was leading by example. Unfortunately, it's not going well for him this season, but there is still plenty of time, and hopefully we can see better from him. Afdailing again. Aubameyang, never my captain. We need a new captain. And again, Brandon, do you think we will make signings in January? I hope so. Am I confident that we're going to make signings? No. Because it happens all the time. All the time. We always say we need players. And especially in the winter window, the January transfer window, we turn into loan FC, or we start doing a madness and giving 33-year-olds contracts. We'll probably renew David Luiz's contract again, or something stupid like that. And there's a lot of rumours, a lot of talk about Buendia. It's whether we're going to stump up the money, because if we're being real, he's got a long contract at Norwich. Norwich don't have to sell him. They'd probably be stupid not to sell him, because they could command quite a decent fee for him. But at the same time, is he the answer? Or could we go and get better? We could go and get better, but we're cheapskates. And at the same time, I just feel like they're going to be concentrating more on getting players out than what they will be getting players in this window. So there you go. Natish says, Afdailing, Tierney is already doing a good job as a player. He is vocal. Luiz too. Oba was trying yesterday, but he's out for. Yeah, I agree. They're just having a little conversation between themselves. Luke Kendall here. First time I've seen you in the chat as well, buddy. Thank you for tuning in. Your best player was Matt Ritchie. Yeah, he wasn't great when he came on for you boys, was he? Matt Ritchie, I actually thought he was a half decent player when before he joined Newcastle. He used to whip some good balls in and that, but my word, he was horrendous yesterday. Saba in the chat as well. I think this is the first time I've seen you as well, buddy. Thank you for tuning in. 3 is right for El Neni. Yeah, 100%. I don't think I rated Willian actually. After daily, Willian 0. Yeah, 100%. He's the worst player on the pitch yesterday again. Natish says that is the current mood because he's not scoring goals. If he was scoring like last season, no one would care so much. Exactly, mate. Exactly. So all these Aubameyang haters, yeah, I get what you're saying to a certain degree about him, but at the same time, he's been our best player over the last 2 seasons. You can't argue. You got to cut him a little bit of slack, no question about it. Natish also says Willian played better than Reece Nelson and Joe Willock yesterday. Those 2 kids have a career ahead of them. Still were so bad, yet Willian is being targeted a lot more than those 2. I'll tell you why Willian's been targeted a lot more than those 2. Because Willian is an experienced player. He's a player who knows the Premier League inside and out. He's played in the Premier League for the last 7 years. Yeah, he knows the level. And he was actually not a bad player either. But he has been horrendous. And the reason why he gets targeted a lot more, it's because we expect better from him. You know, these kids like Joe Willock and Reece Nelson, we don't pile as much pressure on them because they are still kids. You know, they're still learning. Willian has all the experience that needed, and you know, since he's joined Arsenal, you look at the money that he's on, and you just think, what a waste of money. Honestly, he's came here for his last big payday, it seems. Anyway, Daling says Willock is dog shit, not good enough. Yeah, I don't think he's of Arsenal level. I think he needs to either go out on loan or be sold. You know, it's his decision making. His decision making is what lets him down 100%, because he does make some good runs, to be fair. He does make some good runs. What do you think of Pepe? Will he ever be good? I don't think he will. I don't think he will cut it in the Premier League. I was excited when it was announced that we was going to be signing Nicola Pepe. I'm not going to say that I knew a lot about him, but I watched a few games in the French league when we was linked to him, and he looked very good. You know, he looked like a top player. I don't know what's happened since he's joined Arsenal. He looks nowhere near, you know. I don't know if it's because the Premier League's a bit too quick for him and he wants more time and more space on the ball. But I don't know. I'm flattered to be deceived with this guy. You know, I know he cost a lot of money. I know that's not his fault, because maybe, well, it's looking now like he definitely isn't a £72 million player. But even so, you can see the quality that he has, and you just don't see it enough from him. You really don't. Again, if we're going to talk about decision making, yesterday, very, very poor in the final third. But there you go. Would I take Gervinho over Pepe? No, I wouldn't. Gervinho was horrendous. But you know, Pepe's looking like he could be our new Gervinho. Unfortunately, Gervinho didn't have the quality that Pepe has, though. Look, if we're being real, if Pepe can unlock his quality, he will be a quality player. But it's getting it out of him on a consistent basis, and that is just, you know. Brandon, who would you keep from this current squad? As in, like, keep at Arsenal? If you're looking, which the aim is for me, we've got to get back in the Champions League. That's the first step. Yeah. So if we're looking to build a team that can get into the Champions League and be good enough in the future, for me, I would keep Bernd Leno. I would keep Kieran Tierney, Gabriel. I'd keep Pablo Mari, but I'd probably have him as a squad player, as a player who can come in if we get an injury. And I would try and go and find a better centre back. I would keep Thomas Partey, obviously, Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe as well, Aubameyang. I think that's it, to be fair. It'd probably be easier for me to run through who I'd get rid of. I would get rid of David Luiz. You know, I think we can find somebody better. And, you know, he's getting on a bit now. I wouldn't give him another contract because he can have good games, but he can be a liability as well at times. I would get rid of Rob Holding. Don't think he's of Arsenal quality, although he has done all right this season. If I was to keep Rob Holding, I'd keep him as a squad player as well. He's not the answer. Let's put it that way. Hector Bellerin, you all know how I feel about that. Send him wherever, you know. Go go and drop him off at a fashion show or something like that, because he's not good enough either. So yeah, he has to go. El Neni has to go. Willock has to go. Xhaka, in time, maybe not in this window or the summer window, but I would certainly look to get rid of him at some point, because he's a liability at times as well. Willian, tear his contract up. Pepe, I'll probably sell him in the summer as well. I know you make a loss on him, but you could probably get some money in for him and invest in the squad elsewhere. And although Lacazette has played all right this season, I would still sell him. He's another player who's got a bit of value. He's another player who I think we can get better than. So yeah, that's probably the easiest way to go through it. After Aiden says Balogun wanted £100,000 per week. Come on, Brandon, stop defending this fraud. Get rid. Well, listen, 100 grand per week. At the end of the day, right, I don't believe that's true. I believe he just wanted a little bit of reassurances of playing time, and Mikel Arteta and Arsenal couldn't give that to him. I don't believe it's got anything to do with money. I do believe that he actually wanted to stay at Arsenal. But if you're going to stay at Arsenal, you need to be given playing time. And then that's just as simple as that, So there you go. Edu, Vinay and Kroenke out. Yeah, I agree. I'd get everybody out. Unfortunately, this whole club needs a reset. It really does. Afdaling also says, keep up the good work, Brandon. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in as always, mate. Thomas here. First time I've seen you in the chat as well, mate. And I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much. Do you think Mesut Ozil should get another chance, as he can bring quality to the squad with his passing and assists? No, I don't. I think we need to move on from Mesut Ozil. He's been a good servant to the club. I'm not going to bash him and say that he's this, that, and the other. Because at the end of the day, when we brought him from Real Madrid, the excitement was unbelievable. And he did have some good times at Arsenal, but in recent years things have just fallen apart for him. And the system that we play as well, Mikel Arteta wants every single man on the pitch to do a bit of defensive work. Mesut Ozil's not that type of player. He's the type of player who will thread balls and find passes that nobody else sees, but his defensive work is not great. And not only that, I think things have gone a little bit too far now for him to just be able to walk back into Arsenal. There's too much gone on behind the scenes. We're hearing things about, the whole China situation. The fact that he never took a pay cut as well when the whole coronavirus thing hit. Not saying that I don't agree with that, but at the same time, you piss the hierarchy off. There's no way he's walking back into this Arsenal team, and that's just my opinion. We've got another comment here from the Tish that says Callum Chambers is better than Rob Holding. I'd probably agree with you on that. What we've seen of Callum Chambers, the only problem with Callum Chambers is he's so injury prone. It's ridiculous, with a bit of run of games, maybe he would go on to be better than Rob Holding, no question about it. Anyway, guys, I am going to wrap this up. We've been going for an hour, which is probably the longest player ratings and match reaction stream I've had. But yeah, I appreciate each and every single one of you that has tuned in. Of course, we'll be back for a match preview for the Premier League game against Crystal Palace on Thursday. Hopefully we can get another win. And like I said, I appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. And if you are tuning in and you haven't already, please go and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we will be back again, I would say, on either Tuesday or Wednesday. So just look out for it for my match preview. Hopefully, I might be able to get a guest on as well. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.